get me in there, and then I would just walk away. Yeah. I think I learned that the first time. And the partners and hate the sun. The hockey, whatever it is that used to run in my part of the business. Yeah. It was because you know, I would go in and say, hey, I'm pretty good this year. I hadn't played much of it at that time. You know, she said, well, hey,
I played back in back when I was whenever we had good
you know what I loved at the time? Rusty, when we started to go to Japan, with the Fox Sports. So he was always like, hey, Rusty, what's going on? Yeah, I'm filling in. I said, I got you. Don't worry.
back when you could
It's
dance.
cute.
Yeah,
And you can dance.
right?
It's like when you're passing. Yeah, Rusty was always cool as that for I'll give you my because that was because I'm Fox Sports. The same person altogether,
Yeah.
you know. To go to the dock and then back up, that push your son back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was pretty smart, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
That was pretty smart.
yeah,
Show you through a tape.
yep, yeah. He was super cool and he always loved me. That's probably what I love about this. Yeah, 96. Remember when we started the government came over and started the whole section? Yeah. No, Kathleen Carlson.
I used to go on weekend road.
It was good times. And we should contact her. I can't remember. I can see his face.
At all.
No, he's just with the school though. I can see the guy who moved the Vegas up here. And then it changes and everything. Compact VHS, and I said, no, what do you want? That's how I got it. He's already had kids.
Test level 1 2 3. Test level 1 2 3 4.
Is it? You know if it's online or?
Uh,
All of us.
Orlando for and then you could also go out and have lunch or something. I said that's the thing. Of course that was at a time when I had commitments, no nothing, I had to pick up and go. And then I looked and I ended up in the locator. My personalities, little packages, snacks packages from the store. And I said, hey, I'd like to.
check, check, check.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 3, 2, 1.
I'll make that set.
You're all set?
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and to those of you who are watching on Facebook, good afternoon to you as well. You know, every month I get up here and I talk about indictments, sentencings, crimes, trends, or something else along those lines. And since this is the last scheduled press conference of the year, we decided to do something a little bit different, focus on something a little bit different. Those are all, of course, extremely important and the bulk of what we do, but one of the most important things that we do and one of the things that is important for me to talk about is victims and what my office does to support them. It's very easy and tempting to get wrapped up in the details of a crime, but we never, ever want to lose sight of the impact that the crime has on a victim. So that's why today I want to introduce you to one of our newest employees, who's already far and away our most popular employee. This is our canine advocate, Coco, and standing next to Coco is Haley Knutson, one of our victim advocates and also Coco's handler. She's great too, but sorry, Haley, we know who's going to get the attention here. It's Coco. Coco came to MCAO this fall, and she's already helped several victims get ready for and get through trial. Haley and Coco will be with the victims during the first meet and greet with the prosecutor. They'll also accompany them to interviews, meetings, home visits, court hearings, and trial. Coco helps victims of all ages, but some of the most vulnerable are children, and we often see the need for a dog like her when we're dealing with cases, especially those involving sexual abuse. As you can imagine, it's very scary for kids to talk to adults about sex and about what happened to them. Oftentimes, because of the way the offender has groomed them, they feel a shared responsibility in what has happened to them. Now add to that testifying in a room full of strangers about what happened to them, and you can understand why Coco might be comforting. Testifying, let me be really clear, can be very empowering, but it can also be very scary. And when we go to trial, we need a victim's testimony to get a conviction. You know, we've had a courthouse dog program here for many years, and I can tell you just a perfect example of how effective this program is. It's one of my favorite programs that we have in this office. We had a little girl who had to testify about being sexually abused, and getting her to take the stand was very difficult. She was very emotional, as you can imagine. She didn't want to talk on the stand. It was very difficult to get the information out of her, but she made it through without a dog. And then halfway through the trial, the defense attorney had a serious health issue that caused a mistrial to be granted. So we had to do this all over again. But in the meantime, we had started the dog program here at the county attorney's office. So the second time this little girl had to testify, she had a dog with her. That dog's name was Sam. And it was night and day to see the difference between how confident she was to testify. And of course, we were able to secure a conviction for somebody who had done something very, very bad. So the impact of our canine advocates cannot be overstated. It is just amazing to see those dogs break down barriers in a way that no person can. When a victim's testifying, the dog's sole purpose is to be there for them, to comfort them. There's nobody else in the courtroom like that. A mom can't go up on the witness stand and hug their child, but a kid can reach down and feel Coco at their feet, reassuring them that they can get through this. I don't want to take away from the work of people like Haley and our other human advocates. They are also fantastic at providing resources and being there for support, but you add in a dog and it makes an incredible team and a difference for a victim. Now I'm going to answer your questions next, but I want to point out that Haley's going to be available for interviews once we wrap this up. And I'd really encourage you to talk to her about her experience helping victims and all the hard work she puts in to training Coco and keeping Coco trained, keeping her sharp. So with that, I'm ready to answer your questions about whatever you have on your mind.
I'll
Yeah.
go first. Oh, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, Senator John Kavanaugh introduced a bill that would force police departments to destroy guns used in murders after the conviction and post-conviction appeals are done. You had previously told us that you were in favor of doing something like this.
Mhm.
Do you work with Kavanaugh on this bill, or do you have any different plans or any thoughts on this?
We had originally talked to Representative Quan Nguyen because he's the Judiciary Chairman. I don't know, I didn't know who was planning on sponsoring it, but this is a bill in keeping with what we had talked about. I'll have to look at the details of it to see if that's exactly what we had in mind, but obviously this stems from the situation where Julie Erfley, her husband was a on-duty police officer who was killed in the line of duty, and under the current statute, it says that the guns have to be basically resold. And, I just feel like would be a travesty for this particular gun. This is not a policy statement. This is a human reaction to that particular case. So hopefully this accomplishes what we wanted it to.
In the Mercedes Vega case, you recently announced that you'd be seeking the death penalty for both of the defendants in the case. Can you talk about how you came to that decision, and then also the motion to combine the robbery and the murder trials in that case as well?
Okay. Well, I followed the same procedure that I follow in every first-degree murder case involving committed by an adult. There is an extensive collection of information by our office. There is a review by a committee who provides me with a recommendation, but the decision is mine and mine alone. I'm not going to talk specifically about this case since it's pending, but I can tell you what I look for are, first of all, I look at the strength of the evidence. I want to make sure that this is not only strong evidence of guilt, but that it is evidence that will withstand the test of time, because as you know, unfortunately, the death penalty can drag out not over years, but over decades. Just earlier this year, we had the execution of somebody who had committed his crime over 30 years earlier. So I'm looking for that, but I'm also comparing it to all of the first-degree murder cases that I've reviewed, not only in my tenure as county attorney, but also over the years that I have looked at first-degree murder cases. I'm looking for the worst of the worst. And so when those things are met, those are two big factors, as well as what the next of kin's wishes are, that I look at in determining whether the death penalty should be granted. Now, your second question is about whether the robbery case will be joined. That's going to be a decision up to the judge. I have no doubt that we will pursue that getting done, but the judge ultimately has to make the call on that.
Are you able to elaborate on why you guys want to combine those trials?
Well, yeah, there's a rule in the rules of evidence. It's 404B, and it talks about being able to bring in other acts, whether they're charged or uncharged, if they go to show something like motive. And if the robbery provides that motive, then it might be joined, but it's up to the court.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the agreement involving April McLaughlin? In court, you said, in court, your attorney said the agreement was going all the way up.
Yeah, so April McLaughlin, as you know, had essentially two different types of cases going. She had a fraud case going, and she had the animal abuse case going. So let me address those separately, although she pled in both cases. In the animal abuse case, she pled to two of the highest charges that we had in the indictment. One of those calls for prison, the range is open for the judge to decide how much prison, and then she will be released out onto a probation tail once she does her prison time. In the fraud case, she pled to a Class 3 felony. It's a higher level of felony because that was available to us in the fraud case. That also is a prison stipulation. It is up to the judge how much prison she will get on that. It's also up to the judge whether those two prison sentences will run concurrently, meaning at the same time, or consecutively, meaning stacked. Also in that case, she will get a probation tail. So when she does her prison time, she will get out on 2 counts of probation, which, if she violates probation, could mean going back to prison. She also, because of the 2 counts that we are pleading to her to involving animal abuse, will have a lifetime ban of owning animals. She also is agreeing to white-collar terms of probation. She's also agreeing to animal abuse terms of probation. Yeah. Since it's Christmas, I'll give you 2. Okay, teasing you.
Tempe Tavern has been the scene of 2 high-profile fake ID operations.
Yeah.
Is your office working with the Tempe Police or State Liquor Board on actions against the owner of the Tempe Tavern? And do you foresee anything like this happening in the future?
We don't have any submittals from either Liquor License and Control or Tempe PD on that individual or people related to that tavern. But what I would say is, obviously, from the reports of the number of minors that are, or underage drinkers that are being served there, it is a huge concern. And I would be very interested to see any submittals that they would want to send our way. It appears that the owner of that tavern is not taking the law seriously, and he needs to know that I do take the law seriously.
One of the teen customers was involved in a fatal crash.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the bartender or the tavern owner facing charges related to this?
That would be very fact specific. I mean, certainly there's a civil cause of action that could happen there under the, a dram shop law theory. But in terms of charging them criminally, I'd have to see the submittal. And I don't know if your voice is being picked up, just so I can let the audience know that's watching it. What we're talking about is the Tempe Tavern, where they are apparently serving a lot of underage drinkers, and there was one individual who left there and was involved in a fatal accident. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.
Thank you.
If something